Welcome to Smooth Country, Keith. It's so good to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you too, Eamon, finally. And I'm in the UK doing it, which is
You
great.
know, it just crossed my mind that the last time we spoke, I think the last thing I said to you was, when are you coming to the UK again? And you said to me, as soon as I can. And you're a man to your word.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And what's happened here in the last few years, especially with the Graffiti U album, the Speed of Now album, it's just been amazing. So we just wanted to come back fast as possible. And finally, we're here.
And the fans are desperate to experience the whole live music thing again. I know when we spoke, you said you were desperate to participate in it all over again. And I'm seeing some fantastic comments about the shows you've done so far. There must be a great vibe getting back on there again.
Oh my God, yeah, and the energy is insane. The crowd's here. God, it's just, I was hoping for a particular kind of energetic crowd, but it is way beyond that. It's like some soccer grand final. It's insane. It's just great. So, we're only like barely halfway through this tour, and I'm like already ready to come back, like
Well,
as soon as possible.
that's very encouraging to hear because the fans, and we
Yeah.
see it on the forums and when they contact the radio station, everybody's desperate to be entertained again for obvious reasons. And
Yeah.
then someone of your caliber comes along and just gives them a show and a half. And, everybody's happy. It's win-win, isn't it?
It's a win-win, exactly. I mean, me and the road crew and everybody behind the scenes, the band, we've all been dying to get back on the road, and you can feel it in the audiences. They've been ready for it too.
I'm coming to see you very, very soon, but I'll talk about that just towards the end, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, and it just came into my mind a little while ago. When you're here in a different country for a few days, and you've got a number of shows and a few gaps in between, what do you do as an individual? Do you do the sightseeing thing? Once you've got your show mastered and it sounds like it's going great, do you go out with some of the crew? Do you go for a bike ride? Well, what do you do?
You know, it's funny, it's always a work in progress. I'm always just tweaking it, tinkering with it a little bit, every aspect of it, just to, it's like, it's like playing a football game, and you're sort of like you sort of think about the game and how it went and how we could play it better, and just little things you want to do, and you're like jonesing to get back on the field and play another game and incorporate all these things that you just learned. That's what playing shows is like for me. It's exactly like that. I'm like jonesing to get back to the next stage so we can try this. Let's see what happens with this tonight. It keeps all the shows fresh, keeps me in the moment, and I just love it. And I love being present with everybody.
So it's more about the work aspect of the next gig rather than, well, I've got 2 days off. Should we go and check out whatever? Do you know what I mean?
But I'll also get out and about, go for a walk, or rent a car and just drive. I love driving, so I'll just take off in any direction so I can get a feel for where I am and sightsee a little bit as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why not while you're here?
Yeah.
No, that's an interesting thing. And so your set list would change in between shows, or if a song gets a particularly brilliant reaction, it might be shifted up the list, or is that how you work it?
Exactly. Yes. Trimming some songs out, putting some other ones in, swapping a few things around. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I suppose it keeps it fresh for you as well, and the guys that are with you, rather than just the sets rolled out in whatever venue you're in.
Yeah, and it's just a flow. I mean, I'm looking for the flow. And
Yeah.
each night you learn a lot about how to flow the thing a little bit different. But every night's different as well. Every crowd's different. A Sunday night's going to be different to a Friday night. Although, having said that, I think here, it doesn't really matter what night it is. It's like every night is Friday night on this concert. It's insane.
Well, it's a big occasion, like I said, for everybody to be just getting out there and experiencing it all over again. So we're all a bit on a high from this. So
Yeah, summer's coming and you can feel that, and just everyone feels it's a great feeling here right now. It really is.
is there a different reaction from different audiences around the world, or do you notice some might be a little more reserved and some might get up and dance a bit quicker and that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's far more consistency than differences at this point. Probably because everybody see things online, they're seeing the concert from the night before or from some other
Yeah.
country, and so there's this commonality feeling that starts to happen. Um, But I will say, I think UK audiences have a fervor about them that is really, it's almost like it doesn't, of course it matters what songs you're doing, but this, on this particular tour, it almost seems like they're just into it. They're just there and they're like, we're here, just play something, play it really well, mean it, and we'll have the best night. And
Yeah.
so it's, that's right up my alley.
And you've got the catalog. I mean, you could just play for hours and hours and hours, couldn't you? I mean,
Well, that's the hard part has been figuring out a set list that doesn't go for 2 days.
now there's an idea, Keith. At some point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a marathon.
That's right. Yeah, you guys talking hours. We're talking days of a. But yeah, some of that is just trying a song out one night and saying, well, do everybody know this one? And it seems no matter what we do, there's pockets of areas that people know every song, and then of course a bunch of songs like One Too Many, Somebody Like You, Fighter, Parallel Line, some of these things that everybody knows.
Nightfalls, we're currently playing on Smooth Country.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about this, this idea of dropping the song every now and again, where it used to be just an album and then you'd release songs, periodically. Now you're dropping a song here, dropping a song there. Are you working on anything else right now? Or are there any plans to give it, to keep feeding us every couple of months?
Yeah, I have most of a whole new album ready to go. That won't come for a while, but I think we'll have new songs coming off of this project, this new project, across the rest of this year. So looking forward to getting some more new music out. And thank you for playing Nightfalls. That was sort of an unexpected thing. We wrote this song in the middle of last year, and it was really, I wrote it really about wanting to play concerts again. I mean, the song is really about going, it doesn't say it, but it kind of is about going to a concert. It's about going to a summer outdoor concert or a festival. That was what I was missing more than anything. I was really missing that outdoor summer music vibe, chill, everybody's in great spirits, sun's going down, and this whole song was all about that. That's why it opens with the line, we've been through some hard times, but I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to think about it, not with you right here tonight. It was all about just getting back into life again.
Yeah, and well, look, there was never a better theme where we were at that time and where we've come from as well. So that's bang on the money for now.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a wonderful time to be a music fan, because for those reasons you can feed us this new material as you choose, and it must be wonderful as a performer, because you've got total control now, and if you feel like giving us that song, then you just put it out there. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. I like the fluid platforms and portals we've got now to put music out, and in some cases this song is for that, this one is more so for that. We did a song for Nine Perfect Strangers that my wife had filmed, and at the same time we had Wild Hearts coming out, and then the UK, here in the UK and Australia, there was a desire for something to come after One Too Many, and so we wrote Nightfalls. I never expected Nightfalls to get the country support it's gotten, because I didn't really see it as a country song, but it is what it is. I think it just sounds like me, whatever the heck I do, and I thank you guys for playing it. Thank you.
No, not at all. It's our pleasure. I'm going to ask you about the Vegas residency as well, because this came out of an Adele story that she was doing it, then she wasn't, and then presumably there was gaps in the schedule, and you came along and you said, I'll fill them, and what a great little shoe in there as well, because that wouldn't have been planned from your point of view before, would it? It just dropped for you.
No, we'd signed on to do a bunch of shows at Caesar's Palace at the end of 2019, and we did a few. And then we did a few at the beginning of 2020. We were supposed to do like 24 shows all through 2020. And we got about 3 done, and then it all got shut down. And so we waited around to get back into that room and resume our residency. And that didn't happen until September of 21. September 21, we went back in and did 5 shows. That was the first time back since the beginning of the pandemic. It was an amazing feeling to be back in a room with people packed in. It was incredible. And then in January, they called us to ask if we could fill in some dates for Adele. So we were supposed to come back into that room in May of this year. We're going back there in a few weeks. But the Adele dates just were amazing timing because we already had our show ready to go and we could just bump it up sooner.
Yeah, so that's perfect. Sometimes things just fall into place, don't they, like that for you?
Yeah, and you know, I'll do anything for Adele. I love Adele.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw it was funny because you know the way somebody like you and the way things are with technology these days, omnipresent. It's like, you know, I saw a comment on one of the forums the other day saying, "Oh my God, Keith Urban can't be coming to the UK after all because he's on The Voice in Australia. I've just seen it, you know." And of course, some people don't go, "Oh, well, that bit might have been recorded and he is here now." So, you know, people was mini panicking that, oh, maybe he's staying in Australia instead. So the fact now that you can be on these platforms doing TV shows online here, heading to Vegas, it almost seems like you're a 24-hour-a-day man everywhere.
It does. I know it does. It's crazy. You're right. You know, I've had people calling me from Australia asking me out, asking Nick and I out to dinner. And I'm like, we're not there. They're like, there you are. You're on the telly last night.
Exactly. So it's what a crazy time this is, you know, for the likes of you who are traveling the world all the time anyway. Now, I'm coming to see you tonight, so I cannot wait because I've seen the reviews and I've seen the fans online. So I'm really excited about it. So I'll be in the crowd somewhere shouting for you.
Geez, no pressure. All right.
No, I don't. You strike me as very kind of, you know, that laid back. I don't think. Do you even feel? Actually, that's a good one to round the interview. Do you feel pressure, or are you just good to go?
Of course. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, it's the craziest thing because I grew up playing in all the pubs and the clubs in Australia. Rough places where you walk on stage and you're greeted by this. All right.
Yeah.
What do you do? What's your bloody? What do you do, mate? You know, like, that's what I'm used to. That's what I grew up, and I can't shake it. No matter how long I've been doing this, I still come out on stage, and that's what I picture in my head is a bunch of people doing this, going, "All right, show us what you do, impress us." You know, it's never changed. I sort of come out with that fighter spirit of doing whatever it takes to get this crowd going. It's never changed.
I think that's a great mentality to have, actually. So you're never going to be one of these guys who's a bit too sure of himself, you know, like, because
Definitely
we all
not.
know in life, you know, when you get a little bit too cocky, that's when you can get tripped up as well. So that's a brilliant, you know, holding back those feelings from the old days.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I don't know this. I don't know everybody in the room. I've never played here on this night. This, you know, this is a first for me. It's a first for them. Let's just give it everything and see if we can make this place ignite. That's what it is for me. It's coming out and igniting the room and having a great time. My thing is always about everybody just leaving all their troubles, their cares, their life, everything outside. And for 2 hours, we're just going to live in an alternate universe where everything is right.
Yeah. Well, listen, for everything I've seen so far, and I'm hoping to experience, I'm sure I will tonight. I cannot wait. So it's a pleasure to catch up with you again, Keith.
Likewise.
And like you said, you know, you can't wait to come back around again. So let's do it again when you're back in the UK.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll come into your living room right there.
Yeah, have a look. There we go. Here we are. Yeah, listen. Yeah, I tell you what. Jump in that hire car and come down to Kent, and we'll have a beer. Now there's an idea.
I'll come to Kent. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Absolute pleasure as always, Keith, and I'm wishing you all the best for the future.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, mate.
Smooth country.